Hello, it's the Mad Queen. Today I want to go over the top 5 non-Triple S heroes specifically for beginners. Whenever I am making decisions like this and I want to recommend different heroes based on where people are at in the game, one of the very first things I like to look at is how easy is it to get multiple copies of them. Obviously, with elites, it is much easier to get multiple copies of those than it is Triple S heroes. And then, how versatile is the hero? Meaning, how many places can you use it? Because you want to really try to focus on 5 heroes that you can use in all content of the game until you get to a certain point. Because you're not going to have a ton of heroes in the beginning of the game unless you're spending a lot of money. That's okay too. But you want to make sure that you are picking heroes that are going to help you in the Disa Caves, the Sinsaro Marsh, that are going to help you clear the story instance, elite campaign, elite chapter. You're going to want to pick heroes that you can use in multiple places. My very first pick is going to be Miss Serena. Serena is amazing. Every time I put her in a video, which has been many times, I always talk about how good of a hero she is, because honestly, I would not be where I'm at with my account now if it wasn't for having Serena, because for a long time, I was lacking the damage I needed to complete things and progress, but because of Serena's healing and her boosted defense, I was able to just survive long enough for my heroes that weren't doing a ton of damage to do enough until I could actually beat it and progress. And I was able to do that in a lot of places within the game, all thanks to Serena. She's so easy to get copies of, and you can get her from logging into the game, which is another really, really nice perk. And if you couldn't tell, Serena, actually, you probably couldn't tell. Oh, yeah. Serena is my very first maxed immortal hero. I did that for a very specific reason. You can use her in every single place in the game. Literally, there is not one place you can't use her. She should be a Triple S hero with her capabilities. Thankfully, she's not. So, please, if you get a Serena, she is going to be the number 1 support that you need to carry you through the whole game. Or most of it. The next hero is going to be Taylor. Taylor, some people like to call him Tony the Tiger. I personally think that he looks like the tiger from Kung Fu Panda. I think that it's actually Tigress who's a girl, but come on. I'm just saying. And he is not the only one that looks like they came from Kung Fu Panda. We have Po too. And Po is right here. Well, I don't know. He's kind of a mix between Lyran and Sinway. I'm sorry, this is getting a little off topic, but there are definitely some Kung Fu Panda heroes in here. But anyways, back to Taylor. Taylor is awesome. He is actually pretty easy to build. And this is another thing that I also look at whenever I recommend heroes, is because when you're in the beginning to the mid stages of the game, and honestly, even progressing into the late stages of the game, you're not going to have access to super, super amazing gear. So you need heroes that are going to be easy for you to build. So for Taylor, you can use him literally everywhere, at least for the beginning, middle, and pushing towards late game. He is one of the best heroes for Terradome, and that's because you can control where he jumps. If you don't know how that team works, have a look at my YouTube channel. I'll be posting a video specifically on Taylor in that dungeon. But he's also good in the Disa caves because he can shoot a lot of arrows very quickly. That's going to help us break that shield in the Disa cave. He's good in the Sinsaro Marsh. He's going to be very helpful. And for most people, unless you're spending a lot of money, that is going to take quite a bit of time. Number 3 is my main man, Omar. So I have a lot of people that give me hate about loving Omar, and I don't understand why. Omar is awesome. I will forever love him. I will admit he does fall off in-game. He's still very usable in the late game, though. I've used Omar so much, and I still use him. He's no longer one of my very first choice heroes because I do have every hero in the game, which means I have every triple S, and I have a lot of options available. But for a very long time, I was able to use Omar to climb in my account. You can use him everywhere except for the teardown, and that's because he is going to attack from the outside of the perimeter that the boss puts up. You can use Omar to help you climb in the arena, in the Disa Caves, Sinsaro Marsh. You can use Omar in the story instances, Elite Campaign. You can use him in the Ancient Altar. I mean, you can literally use Omar anywhere except for the teardown. The fastest place you're going to see him fall off is going to be in the arena, unfortunately. He will be pretty good for a while, but whenever you're starting to face players that are, I would say, about 4 million power and higher, he's really going to start to fall off because those people are able to build in a lot of extra stats at that point where they're building damage reduction, defense, health, crit damage reduction, all that good stuff that is going to make these heroes do a lot less damage. The really nice thing about Omar is he is mainly an AoE damage dealing hero, which means all of the damage he does for the most part is area damage. He's hitting multiple targets at a time, which makes him excellent to help you clear through a lot of content. Number 4 is Sorietta the Star Dragon. I really have enjoyed Sorietta, and honestly, Sorietta did not start falling off for me until probably like a week or 2 ago. That's a long time. I've been playing for over 4 months now. Sorietta is incredible. I do still use Sorietta in my Disa Caves Stage 15 team. Sorietta is able to do a lot of damage to one target at a time, but he also has some abilities that do AoE damage as well. You can use Sorietta in most places in the game as well, and that's going to be really common with all of these heroes that I'm talking about. And I hate to just keep repeating the same things, but the only place you're really not going to be able to use Sorietta is the Teradome again. And then, of course, he is going to start falling off when you get much higher into the game. I am over 5 million power now, if that tells you anything. But Sorietta is an amazing hero overall, and it's really easy to get a lot of copies of him. And the very last hero, number 5 on this list, is going to be Botmark 2. I want to tell you, I put a lot of thought into this list. And Botmark 2, for me, it was between him and a couple of other heroes, but I had to think about 5 heroes are not just good on their own, but 5 heroes that are good together. And all 5 of these heroes that I've named can be used as a team in almost every place within the game. Botmark 2 is really good because he is able to increase his damage and increase his allies' damage. And what's really unique is, as a hero that is able to do damage, as long as you're landing critical shots on the enemy, he can actually stack multiple stacks of decreased defense on the target. This is going to work much better against bosses than it is in arena or in the story stages. Not saying you can't use him there. You can definitely use the Bot Mark II in those places, but when you get later into the game, you're really only going to find yourself mainly using him in the Disa Caves. He is one of the best heroes to take into stage 15 of Disa Caves. And then you'll also use him on some of your guild hunts, and then within bosses in specific events that the game comes out with. So all of the heroes that I've mentioned are not only easy to get multiple copies of, fairly easy to build, and can be used in basically all stages of the game. These 5 heroes can work really well with each other. And you're able to take all of these heroes into the late game and have them be viable. That's another extremely important thing to look at, because you don't want to waste your resources or energy or anything like that into heroes that you're not going to be able to use later on. Of course, you do have that option of resetting, but if you're putting your stuff into the right heroes, there's really not much need for you to actually do that. I will say as well, out of all of these heroes, Bot Mark II is the only one that does need 100% crit rate for him to be able to apply those stacks of defense down. Until you get enough gear to have 4 people that can do a lot of damage, focus on using Bot Mark II more for that decreased defense and build him with 100% crit rate, and then build attack on top of that and then crit damage. He's going to allow your team to do so much more damage. I also have detailed guides on these heroes on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in learning more in depth about these heroes or any other hero in the game, check out my All About Heroes Spotlight on my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, or if I was unclear about something, please leave a comment below and I will make sure to get back with you. You're also welcome to join my growing Discord community. It's a great place for beginners to ask for advice and for experienced players to give advice. The link will be in the description. This video was brought to you in collaboration with Eternal Evolution. Download the game for free now in the iOS or Google Play Store. You can also use my personal game download code in the video description to show some support. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.